Hi everybody, this is Nightmare on Scam Street Investigations. I've been trawling through the internet and I came across this incredible video the other day. So in accordance with YouTube's fair use policy, I'm going to do a commentary on this video because it's stunningly bad. Now the main characters in this video are the judge, which is Alex Manning. She seems incredibly fair. The baddie in this plot seems to be Miss Nix, who is the Assistant District Attorney. The goodie in this plot is Amy Cole. She's the defending lawyer for the person I shall call the victim. And the victim, whose name I haven't got yet, is in one of the jail conference rooms waiting to hear from the judge. She just sits there quietly throughout the whole proceedings, and you'll see how well behaved she is given the circumstances in a short while. So here's what I gathered has happened. One young woman has walked into a convenience store, robbed it, escaped with goods from the store, jumped into a stolen car, been chased by the police, ended up in a collision which has injured her so severely she was taken to hospital where they had to treat her for a broken leg amongst other injuries. The police took a full set of details about this woman and looked at video surveillance and noticed that she had tattoos and where they were, and consequently left her alone. They let her go home from the hospital by herself, intending to pick her up later. Approximately a week later, the victim had someone knock on her door. She wasn't expecting anybody, so she got up, opened the door, and there was a group of policemen there with a warrant for her arrest. The arrest was based on the robbery of the store, the escape and the collision and everything else. Charges which included felonies. I mean, these are serious charges. The woman was taken to jail unknowing what she'd done. She literally hadn't a clue. And it was the next day when she was magistrated that she learned what the charges were. She pleaded her innocence, but no one would listen to her. 90 days later, that's 90 days, 3 months later, the victim's lawyer gets hold of the video and the police car videos and the police car transcripts and so on, and she realizes that none of the details about her appearance match the appearance of the woman that actually did the crime. The victim had no tattoos. The victim didn't have any injuries to her leg, which would have still been obvious after the surgery that she'd had to repair her broken leg. Yet she was taken in, magistrated, and held for 90 days on an incredibly high bond just because her name matched the name of the person who committed the crime. Let's watch for a bit and see what happens in the courtroom.
Exactly. All right, so we got Travosa Weaver.
Present, Your Honor.
Yeah, we got Miss Cole here. Yep. All right. We got 2 cases. All right, we got 22 CP 210605. Wait, lost my pen. Hold on.
I'm sorry, what's the position
I
number?
got position. It's position 16 and position 1 on the add-on calendar. 21 CP 210605. Let's see, 90 days with a $5,000 bond on theft by shoplifting felony, theft by receiving stolen property felony, failure to yield right of way of emergency vehicle. There's a $5,000 bond as of July the 13th. Then on position 1 on the add-on, it's Travosa Rowanda Weaver 22 CP 210616, 92 days. As of July 13th, there's a $26,250 good bond. Driving, improper erratic lane change, following too closely, possession of drug-related objects, driving on the wrong side of the road, too fast for conditions, passing with insufficient clearance, DUI, under the influence of drugs, fleeing and attempting to elude, reckless driving, improper U-turn, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, seatbelt violation, driving failure to signal, lane change, or turn. Trial.
So as you can hear, there's a lot of charges and a very high bond, which the poor woman clearly couldn't afford. Next, you'll hear one of the court officers reading out the criminal history of the actual perpetrator of these crimes, which appear to attach to the person I've called the victim, but actually they don't at all.
13 prior arrests, 2 FTAs, 2017 and 18 felonies, 2013 forgery, and a CWAC SB 2018. Nothing further.
The FTAs, or failure to appears, are probably what's made the bond so high, because the actual perpetrator has been summoned to court before and then just not turned up, so they've had to issue a warrant to go and collect her.
All right, and on the position one add-on, that's a split because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 UJR through the jail. Go ahead, Ms. Cole.
Now the defending lawyer lays out the work she's done today, because that's when she got the evidence, to help her client, the victim, get out of this mess.
Yes, Your Honor, I did send the district attorney and yourself an email on this case regarding just for judicial efficiency. It's a false identification case. I received body cam footage that shows that my client was not the one that was arrested on these charges. The defendant on this case was taken to Grady Hospital, and the police left Grady Hospital and then served the warrant on my client about a week later. I have been in communication with ADA White about it, so I thought he was going to be here tonight, but I did not see him. I can go through the bond factors, Your Honor, but
So just tell me one thing.
Mhm.
If she wasn't the one driving and doing this, are you saying that the person at Grady gave them her name?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding that she had the ID of my client and she provided that name, and you can hear her on the body cam footage providing my client's name. However, the tattoos that she has do not line up with. My client does not have any tattoos on her legs or behind her ears. And I did send the body cam footage as well as the timestamps on that to the district attorney as well as to yourself. I can go through the bond factors, but my request today was to set it down for a UJR jail while the ADA has time to process the case and fully investigate it. But it is clearly not my client on the body cam footage. It doesn't look like her or sound like her, as well as the tattoos.
So before you do you want to send it to Ms. Nix? Because obviously Mr. White's not here. And
This coming part really makes me mad. Miss Nix, Assistant District Attorney, clearly an underling to Mr. White, is doing what we call in this country a job's worth. She's saying it's more than my job's worth to make a decision on this. She won't even admit that the prosecution may have got things wrong. Her attitude is, it doesn't matter that this poor woman's been in jail for 93 days. 93 days. If she stays another week while we sort it out, well, that's not really my problem, is it? That's what it feels like to me anyway.
Sure, I can do that.
There's not going to be a whole lot that I can do in the middle of this hearing to confirm your, and so let me see if I can get in touch with Mr. White to see if he has made any progress. I'm gonna stop my video and send him a message real quick.
And I apologize, Your Honor, I was corresponding with ADA White prior to this hearing, and I thought he would be here.
sure. So why don't you go ahead on the bond argument, and then if we have to circle back around, we can, but at least we can push this one out of the way. So go ahead for 16 and the add-on.
Now, this next section must be really scaring our victim. The judge, in order to save time later, is discussing with Miss Nix what the bond should be if the charges are to stay. Now, this poor girl knows that she's innocent. She's been stuck there for 3 months, and they've only just got the evidence to prove it wasn't her. She must be thinking, I'm out of here. But once they start talking about bonds, which she clearly can't afford, that must be terrifying for her.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Weaver is 30 years old. She's lived in Georgia her whole life. She does have a stable address. I believe it's the address provided on her booking sheet. She's been there for several years, and she lives there with family, her mother, and her child. She does have a child who is 10 years old. She has her GED as well as her medical assistant certification from Brown Mackey. She was employed at the Dollar Tree in West End prior to her arrest. She may not have that job anymore, but thinks she may be able to get it back and can reach back out. Your Honor, I believe the last felony charge was the forgery from about 10 years ago when she was 19 years old. No open cases, and she's not currently on probation. Again, Your Honor, we do have a strong case of false identification on this, since she can be cleared by body cam footage that has been provided to the state. She does wish to clear her name. She's not at risk to not appear for court. Not at risk to reoffend, as this was not her that committed these charges. She's already spent 92 days in jail with no hearing or indictment. So this is her first chance to come before the court since first appearance. And we just received the body cam footage today. So I would request, Your Honor, the booking photos also don't show the tattoo behind her ear, which the police discussed.
Now, is it just me, or is Miss Nix looking a bit angry right now?
In the body cam footage, and I did send the timestamp for that discussion as well. We are asking for a UJR jail on this case so that she can be released and get employment back and get back to her life while the DA investigates the false identification and hopefully proceeds with a no pros or dismissal. Your Honor, that would be our request today.
And on the position 16, that's the felony shoplifting, theft by receiving stolen property.
Yes, Your Honor, it is 2 case numbers. However, it was one consecutive event. The defendant robbed from a public store, jumped in a stolen vehicle, and it ended in a police pursuit, which ended in a car accident, and the defendant being transported to Grady. The defendant in that case actually had a broken leg, Your Honor, I believe, and had a cast put on their leg at Grady Hospital, and my client was arrested and had no injuries or cast or anything else. So this is just one of those cases where a false name was given. My client was implicated by that false name, and she's been in jail for 3 months because of it. So that's why we're asking for UJR jail, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Ms. Nix.
Judge, I have sent ADA White in a text message. He hasn't gotten back to me as to whether he has looked into this issue. But based on the defendant's history, her history of FTA, and the sheer number of charges, I think a $5,000 bond and then a $26,000 bond is reasonable in this case.
All right, so the video, did he tell you whether or not he's even looked at it?
Yes, Your Honor. He called me this afternoon and he told me that he has reviewed the footage and he did look at the timestamp portions, but he didn't understand why the police would have dropped the defendant off at Grady Hospital and left her there. And he said that that was not what he understood happens. However, when you read the police report, the incident report literally states that she was transported to Grady Hospital, and it says nothing about when they picked it up. The warrants were served on my client at her home, and she had no idea what they were for when she was arrested prior to first appearance, when it was all laid out for her.
All right.
He said he had to investigate that issue because it was not what he understood, but there was no arguments against the body cam footage from him, from what I heard.
All right. All right, let's see. On position 16, let's see. It's already at 2,500, so we'll make that 1,000. We'll make position count to 1,000. Number 3 is UJR jail. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from all public grocery stores. Stay away from 3695 Cascade Road. No further contact with Anthony Parks. And what we'll do is if you can get in touch with him and he can jump on here, I'll tell you what's happened before the end of, obviously we can amend that. Let's see, on position 1 on the add-on, 100, count 1, count 2, 100, 100, count 3, 200, count 4, 200, count 5, count 6, 250, count 7, 1,000, count 8, 5,000, count 9, 500, then 10, 11, 12, and 13 are all UJR jail. 100, 100, 100, 200, 200, 250, 1,000, 5,000, 500, and then last 3, 4 are UJR jail.
For this poor girl, the chances of getting out today or any time soon must feel like they're slipping out of her fingers right now.
And Your Honor, I understand that you have made your ruling. I will just state that my client has no income and hasn't for 90 days because she's been incarcerated on false charges. And she is willing to have a deputy investigate and look at the appearance of where the tattoos should be based on the body cam footage and verify that they're not there. If there's anything we can do in this case, other than, I mean, Miss ADA White did tell me that he should be here. He communicated with me this afternoon. I just really feel for my client who sat there for 90 days.
No, and I do too. So it's no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons on there. So we'll let this stand right here. But I don't know, Miss Nick, if you can have, if Miss Cole, if you'll give Miss Nick your phone number, maybe Mr. White can call your phone while we pause and take care of Marietta Annex.
I will, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's what we can do. Okay. All
Thank
right. Let's see. Michael
Yes,
Beck.
ma'am.
Yes.
Before you
So South Annex, if you could check out Miss, while we're doing this, Miss Weaver.
Roughly in half to 30,000.
All right, stand by, Miss Nick. So South Annex, if you could check out Miss, while we're doing this, Miss Weaver, what? See if she has a tattoo behind either of her ears. Do you mind, Deputy? Thank you, Deputy. You're the best.
No tattoos behind her ears.
Thank you.
You
No,
welcome.
no tattoos, Mr. White.
Judge, I'll be preparing a decline.
On both cases?
I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do this. I won't get it done tonight. I'm going to have to talk to our
So,
case
Mr.
intake
White,
people because
why don't
really,
why don't I do UJR jail
okay,
So
that
that
would
she
be
can get-
great.
so that she can get out, and then Ms. Cole can reach out to you as far as like declining to prosecute or what have you.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we have someone who we believe has the same name and is within a 1 year in age of this Travosa Weaver, who in fact did commit these offenses. So
did you hear that? They have someone who has the same name, the same birthday, but a year apart. What are the chances? How lucky or unlucky the woman we've called the victim is that she had a lawyer working for her that did due diligence and worked hard. How unlucky she is that this other woman gave her name, which was her name, and other details. But if it was me, I'd change my name as soon as I got out. But the main thing you've got to think about here is the sloppy police work. They left this girl in the hospital, unattended. She went home. They looked up her details online, found who they thought was the correct person, swore out some warrants, and went and grabbed her. All the time, not checking that it was the right person at all. That's what makes me so disgusted about this video.
It's one
Okay,
of those where we've got the right name, but apparently the wrong individual.
okay. So,
But- Yeah, so UJRJ would be fantastic for this particular defendant, Judge. or
Okay,
this
so-
particular person.
I'll do that on both cases. You got that, Madam Clerk?
I got it.
Okay, so that's
All right.
position 16 and 1. So that way, ma'am, you'll get out. But make sure when you get out, you reach out to Ms. Cole, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
South Annex. I appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
Thank
Your
you.
Thank
All
I
you, Your Honor.
appreciate it.
That concludes
Okay.
my business, baby. Excused.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
So there we are. The victim is going
much.
to be let out of jail today, or on that day, I should say. And she's got to report to a solicitor, the lawyer, the next day. But Miss Nick still doesn't look happy. Don't know about you, but she has a bit of a sour plum look on her face. And ADA Thomas Wright, he couldn't get away quick enough, could he? But the judge, brilliant. Judge Alex Manning, can't praise her enough. She knew what was going on. She prepared for the worst, but ended up getting the best. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you want to, click on the little bell. You'll get some notifications of when I post my next video. So this is Nightmare on Scam Street, wishing you all goodbye. See you soon.